Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. And boy, oh boy, have we been through some energetic waves. I am so excited to get to share this the first time really talking about this as we're kind of emerging on the other side with my friend. Oh, good. Thank you for posting that. Um, for my friend Josie here, Josie's channel. She just posted her. I'm going to click that so y'all can see how to get a hold of her. This is her link tree. She's awesome. And those of you who haven't had the joy of being in audience with her, you're in for a treat. So welcome, Josie. How are you today?
Hello, love. I am doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. There's been a lot
I'm
happening.
trying to
Like,
do something.
oh,
Bear with me here.
yeah, play. There's been a lot happening,
There we
and
go.
a bunch of us all at the same time and have been having a lot of ascension symptoms. I just wanted to say that again for those joining in the audience right now. There's that you don't have to think you're alone. There's a lot of us that are going through this big window. In fact, Josie and I were just talking about that before we started. That like I kept getting that it was going to be on the 17th that the energy shift, big energy thing was going to come in. And I started to get it on the 16th instead. And then a lot of people have been talking about it since Sunday. So this could range from headaches, incredible exhaustion, like weird fatigue, crazy heart palpitations, even a lot of it felt real dense. Like there was dense moments that came in, like where you all of a sudden, like for the first time, kind of felt bad or sad or some kind of way that you hadn't been feeling for a really long time. And a lot of us had it. So did you have anything like that happening during that time,
On the
Josie?
16th, which was Friday,
Well,
um,
it's still going
I think
too.
that, did I freeze? No, there's a delay. But I think I got a migraine on the 16th. I'm not sure if it was the 15th. I think it was maybe the 15th. I got a really bad headache. Like it was tough.
Yeah.
And then the 18th was also a tough day for me as well. I
Yeah.
worked all day on the 17th. So, but yeah, it's been quite interesting. My dreams have been all over the place and plenty. Um, and the time thing, like knowing what day it is and then knowing
Yeah.
what you had done, like I feel disconnected from the activities that I do throughout the day. Like it doesn't feel like I was connected to all of the things that had been going on. Even though I was productive and completed tasks, it didn't feel the same.
Yep.
So that part. And
That's
yes, the UEV index, oh my goodness. It is something. My son called me. He's in Hawaii. I told him, I said, enjoy yourself. Yes, go on the boat. What I didn't tell him was about the UV index doing its thing, and he's like, Mom, I burned. I
ah,
burned. And I was like, oh yeah, the V index is higher now.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, that part.
You can tell too, the sun almost hurts by its brightness. Like I've gotten out of the habit of wearing sunglasses, but I found them. I went and found them again. Like I have green eyes too, so I have that like higher need for sunglasses than my
Mhm.
friends that have darker eyes. But I mean, I gotten it out of my system to need them until now. Holy cow. It feels weird too. Like you can feel the something moving through it. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, it's like you know, all of that talk about becoming crystalline and being less dense. Um, it's different when you literally become less dense
Yes.
because sometimes sometimes I'm telling you, I can feel air going through me. And
Yes.
I'm just like, okay, and literally it just started raining.
I
Just
hear it.
started with the thunder. So y'all just bear with the background and let's just, hold the line for this stream.
Hold the line.
I'm like, oh, this is what we're doing today. Finally, you show up as soon as I start with this.
That's
Okay.
funny. We had a big system of storms come through. I'm a Yankee, so this is weird for me. Like that was a very crazy experience to like they were saying my town's name, like the
Mm-hmm.
sirens were going off. It was like, whoa. And I live in like it's like a trailer basically, but it's an apartment. But it's a trailer, like it doesn't have any basement. And so that was a very interesting experience.
And my mom was telling me about it too, about what they were reporting about what is it, the tornadoes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry about everybody affected. My goodness.
It's a lot of them. It's crazy. At one point, there was a count of 7 all around us,
Oh
like on
no.
the ground. Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
And it was the energy that was coming from these storms. See, I'm right in the middle of this whole circle of storms, and like
Mm-hmm.
the way that the energy moved through me, it felt like I was like a creek bed trying to get rapid waves. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it was so strong, and I didn't have a filter or way of moving it. It was
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
My goodness. What else has been going on? Because it's been weird. It's been really weird. Um,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, there's been a few times where, what reality? Out of touch with what? There's nothing to be in touch with. What are you talking about?
right, right.
And you're like just standing there, having moments where you're standing there like, it's no longer, oh, I forgot what I was just doing. It's like, wait, am I really here? Because I was just somewhere else, I swear.
Right,
Like, wait, what's going on? Is this me? Where am I? What's happening?
right,
So it's really reining it in.
right, right. Well, something. I'm just gonna say this. I don't count myself as clear of a channel as like Yolanda Marie or you, and there's other people that I know that are really clear. But the way that I channel is a conversation that I've been having since I was a kid. I thought they were imaginary friends for a long time, you know, until I found until my grandfather passed, and he became an imaginary friend, and he was telling me how to, like it really was real. And that was how I learned about that. But anyway, what I've been getting about what this window of time is about between now, the 17th, and tomorrow's the completion of the initial step. It's the initiation or the rite of passage of us gaining more of our higher self into ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like it looks kind of like a funnel how spirit moves into you because we're such a small vessel. And but this is like we're absorbing more of it, and so this rapid motion of stuff is like pushing stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of the way, sucker. This is my seat, kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And it's really interesting because it does fit all of these different things we're all experiencing.
Yep, it sure does. There's definitely space being created in a way that we're not used to.
Right?
I'm like, yeah, space. And now, like,
Yeah.
thinking about the future kind of makes me uncomfortable. Like, you know how a lot of people
Yeah.
have a hard time because they're always in the future and they have a hard time being in the present moment. Now,
Yeah.
I feel like it's easier to be in the present moment because there's just way too much happening every single moment of the day that
Yeah.
we just, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it really is. And like you said, the whole time you're you're staying busy but you're not
Mm.
present enough to feel the completion of the task completion. And so everything feels like you're trying to one of those days you never get anything done. There's a lot to
Mm-hmm.
do. So there's like that weird because we are moving into the next step and then all this body stuff. I'm seeing this lightning behind you. I think that's light. No, that's your fan. Uh, Never mind. Vegan Vixen mentioned something too that kind of goes along with this nausea. Like I know that um, my appetite's been gone for like the past couple of days. That wasn't the case for a while there. I was getting my grub on, and then like all of a sudden I'm just like, I don't even know if I want orange juice.
Yeah. I was like that, but it wasn't, I think I was like that on the 18th. I had a day
Yeah,
where the nausea was there for sure.
yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
So, yeah.
So, sorry.
Go ahead, love. Because there's such a
So
delay, I have to listen to you. I can't watch you because.
yeah, it's so annoying when it does that. It's sometimes it's restreamed, sometimes it's just because we're in storm season, but so it's frustrating. It's
It's
annoying.
okay.
Um, well, I wanted to bring up some of the things that we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
before that was that like um, as you've come into this, it feels like that you've evolved recently in a way that like you've come into a new energy of yourself and I was wondering if we can talk about you a bit like that. Like, can I
Yeah,
do that?
sure. What have you noticed? Because
Ooh,
I'm like, I'm
good.
not aware of myself here.
I'm sure everybody in the audience are going to agree with me too. But the way that you've evolved in your energy lately, like you've become um, a much more balanced energy. Like you feel so much more I don't know if capable, like believing in your own abilities and just kind of confident, but then also rest assured in some type of like knowledge that wasn't there before.
Ah,
Something changed for you, and it's been really fun to watch. And I was just wondering if you knew what that was like, what
yeah,
happened.
it's freedom. It's the reduction of responsibility, and I don't, everyone is different. Everyone has their walk, their purpose, right? And everyone
Yeah,
has their own beliefs. For me personally, um, the day-to-day family thing was something that I had to try 3 times. Okay. 3 times I went through this journey of the whole nuclear family thing where there's kids and a spouse living with you. And that is not my thing. Not if
right.
I'm going to be the person that you're experiencing, you see?
Right.
So
Yeah.
now that I'm back to being just having to, on a day-to-day basis, focus on myself, it's a natural thing to me that I'm able to express differently. And I could compare it to 2018, because that was my goal, to get back to that energy when I was traveling full time and I was able to do more of my spiritual work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's freedom. That's what it is,
Awesome.
that's what works for me, is freedom, and having a different dynamic when it comes to my children and my living situation. Definitely takes some bravery, right? I don't expect everybody to
Yeah.
be able to do something like this in order to walk on their path, but it was something that I did with integrity. I tested it multiple times to make sure that this is what it really needed to be. And
Right.
now that I'm here, it's different than the first time I tasted it because I'm sure. now. I'm sure that I'm
Yeah.
not going to keep that pattern that I had before. So I'm moving forward, yes, with more confidence, with more enthusiasm, and I've got a lot going on offline that
Great.
fulfills me. I'm a generator. I'm a generator with a sacral authority. So my satisfaction kind of benefits everyone around me. So I'm doing more
Yeah.
things that satisfy me now. So yeah, that might explain it.
Yeah. And that is how to take your power back.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I love that because, for me, that was where my biggest shift was too, was when, like, it was silly, but the symbol of it was, if I wanted to, I could sleep in a hammock.
Yep.
I could install a hammock, and no one could tell me not to do it. Like, there's this something that we feel, some of us feel restricted. Like, so I say this to people all the time. I'm single, but I'm not available.
Tell it.
Like, I'm done that game, like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the thing is, this is what happened. I was single for too long that I found out what it's like after you get over that whole
Yep.
part that your brain wants to believe in Disney happily ever after Disney stories. As soon as you get over that part, then you're like, hey, I don't have to negotiate my life. I can just do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to tell anybody where I'm at. Like, the bulk of most relationships are, it's like talking with a stalker. Where are you at? You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't know. I love everybody who is happy in their
That's great.
relationships. I'm
Yeah.
just not one
Yeah.
of them.
For them, it's wonderful. I like to see the happy parts. One thing that has been a challenge for me has been having to hear the not so happy parts of my friends that are in relationships. That is a huge challenge to me because you want to be supportive, but at the same time, you're not running that program anymore. And you really just don't want any part of it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that. A few close friends understand that about me enough that when they're having that kind of stuff going on, they just disappear. Like, I know that that's why we're not texting and stuff, is they're going through something, that they don't want to lay on, which is beautiful.
Yeah. And it's better
But yeah,
it's better that way when they don't tell you, they just say, hey, I need some space for a little bit. You totally get it. I'd rather not know the business because believe me, I'm gonna be biased after that.
yeah, yeah,
Gonna
yeah.
happen.
And there's always that, excuse me, that was the overlay. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm done.
Well, I was just gonna, and it's also difficult, like when someone's having those difficulties over and over and over again, to be on this side where you're like, I can go to bed when I want to. Just so you know, I can eat whatever I want for dinner.
That part.
I can get whatever I want at the grocery store.
Oh yes, the fridge thing is a huge deal. I love each and every one of my kids, no matter what they might think, because I've got two adults and two teenagers. Okay, so that's why I had to say that. But I haven't seen ramen since my teens left. There's things that are not in my house anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. A lot of people put so much pressure on parents and, oh, don't do this. And after a while, you're too tired. You don't care. Okay. You're just, things just go because if you're not in the trenches with that person, if you're not there on the day-to-day basis, it really doesn't help to point the finger because you have no idea what they're dealing with. And some of the things that these kids are coming to you with, you were never ready to begin with, but you're really not ready, especially if they talk to you and act. Because, you know, a lot of people have issues with their children not talking to them. But then when it's the other way around and you are getting communication, they're telling you some things that make you quite uncomfortable and that you've got to kind of soul search to figure out how to assist them with it. Okay, there's the things are happening. Okay, and it's different. It's a different language. It's a different time. Emotions and things are different for the kids now. It's yep, it's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and it frees you, giving you the space to get to be whoever it is that you like. I meant to say 5D Sky Marie. I could say that she's
Yeah.
your mom. That's right. You said that before. Like your mom said. I guess we don't realize we can actually become more authentic, you know, and that's exactly it. In fact, that's what ascension truly is, if you consider it. You know, we're the way that hey, it's 222 for my time. The way that spirit shows it to me, and like the example I said before, it's like a funnel of more and more of your higher self being integrated into yourself. It's a merging of your higher self. And we've never done it to this degree before. Those profound change in mind and body that happen overnight kind of things have occurred regularly through everyone's life. There's a couple of them. But to this degree, it's never been done before. And so as we include more and more of our higher self, the parts of us that have been, wow, UV really high now, it just spiked again. Then we become more and more of our true self. And a lot of times I've been finding that only those, like, I don't remember not being that way. Like, I've always been, this is how I've always been, you know, but those around me notice a change and they're like, no, you're different. And it's like, cool.
It's always fun when someone notices something in you that you're not seeing. And again, I love referencing my charts and different things, because when I tell you I'm not aware, I am not aware of myself like that. I'm not paying attention. I've got Venus and Mercury in my 12th house. And I don't even notice when people, like, if anybody might be staring at me in public, the person I'm with has to tell me. I can get lost really fast all the time, just gone. So
that's awesome. I'm like that too. I wonder why though. I don't know my stuff as well as you do. Hey, I was wondering, could we talk about that Vedic astrology? What
no
that?
problem.
What kind of? There was a lot of people that were emailing me, and I just didn't know how to answer them. You know what I mean? But this isn't my world, you know. Like, would you like once again, if you feel like it kind of explain what it is a little bit?
So with me, I work with Vedic astrology. Okay, so it's usually about a 30-degree difference. I say 30-degree for people to understand, because I'm not going to get into every single minute or second of the situation, but I tell people it's a whole house difference. Vedic astrology runs on the sidereal zodiac. However, it doesn't really work with Ophiuchus. Okay. It's not the same as sidereal astrology, but it uses the sidereal zodiac. Okay. It just doesn't use Ophiuchus, right? And then another thing with Vedic astrology is it stops at Jupiter traditionally. It doesn't really necessarily deal with Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. But I still, when I'm looking at people's charts, or if I'm showing them how to get started on Cosmic Insights, you do have the option, because that's what I love about Cosmic Insights. It's a learning app. You know, it helps you to learn. So you can turn the outer planets on or off. Okay. So for that, I do turn them on initially for people who still are used to Western astrology and the outer planets, right? But with Vedic astrology, because you have more of an emphasis on your moon nature, your emotions, how things actually feel. You know, there's the facts and then there's how you feel about the facts. There's how is this going to affect you though? You know, yes, this may be happening, but how is it going to really affect you when it comes to your mind? Because the moon is your mind, it's your psychology, right? As well as your emotions. So with Vedic astrology, there's more of an emphasis on the moon. That's why you have a moon chart. You do have your D9 chart, which is your regular birth chart, but you also have a moon chart and like so many more divisional charts that is ridiculous. It's different. It's definitely different.
Layer.
Yes, yes. What one important thing though, because most people, when they're, especially if they're watching astrologers on YouTube, they're trying to figure out how this Mercury retrograde or this other planetary transit is going to affect them, right? So that's all fine and great when it comes to the current transits. However, when you're dealing with Vedic astrology, you're always going to look at the Mahadasha first, okay? Before you look at the current transits, because your current, what we call for short, dasha, is Mahadasha for short. Your current dasha is going to be the dominant energy, and then the current transits of the planets are going to be those undertones under that dominant energy. So, for example, my current dasha is Venus. I'm in a time period of 20 years where Venus rules over my life, and there are sub periods to that. Right now, I'm in the very first part, so it's Venus, and the sub period is Venus, right? But then there's the current transits as well that are happening. So I would look at the Venus stuff first, and then I would look at wherever the planets are currently in my chart. Yeah. So that's what that looks like in short. Any questions? As I'm like, I said all of that, but I don't really know why.
No, I liked it, and a lot of people. In fact, there was a question. So I'm just curious. So Rose Matter here says her moon is in Aries in Western astrology. Would that be the same in Vedic astrology?
Sometimes your moon sign stays the same. Sometimes it doesn't. Mine stayed the same. However, my sun and my rising changed, and so it's really going to be. It's going to depend on your birth time, whether they stay the same or change. Most of the time they do change. So one of them, if not two of them.
So it probably changes early in the day, like if the time.
Yeah, about a 30-minute window for it.
That makes sense. I was born in the late afternoon. I was breached too.
Oh,
they didn't even know it. They didn't know it.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. So I was. They showed up, and my legs were already. I was running.
Oh man! All I saw was get me out of here.
Yeah, it was funny. It's a funny story because every one of us go back to our birth story, and we find that we reflect it through our life. And I was also like 10 days late, supposedly, and that's so me. Like everybody's doing something, and I'll be like, everybody read Harry Potter. The Harry Potter was the book to read, and because everybody else was doing it, I was deeply suspicious of it. I'm that person. I'm not like, oh, that's the new trend. I'm like, why? And I observe it and wonder what's the deal. Like I don't do it. I did end up reading Harry Potter when the 7th book just was about to come out. So anyway, my point is that. Oh gosh, I totally lost my train of thought.
It's okay. It's been like this all day.
Yeah, it's bad. Past 2 or 3 days, vocabulary's been missing. like train of thought, like, and people are trying to email me long emails and I'm like trying to read them, but I get through like the first like couple of words. And then I realized I'm doing the same thing to other people. I'm like sending them, like I did that to you. You're like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, and then
I feel like when it comes to social and talking to people and communicating right now, I feel like I'm playing catch up, but it's weird because I
yeah,
feel like I already communicated with them at the same time. So I feel like I'm repeating myself. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you. I get you. I've been doing this weird thing too, where it's so like I will plan to respond to somebody, but something always gets in the way, and then I think that I've done it, just like you were
Mm-hmm.
kind of saying, like, and so like I'll go back forever later, and they've been waiting for me, you know, and I just feel so bad because I answered you, but it was I saw your notification drop down. I didn't actually click it. I was busy, and I was gonna do it. It's so because you have a telepathic conversation, you know?
Yeah. And it's so funny because on the other end, the other person is not aware of what you're going through. So,
Right.
like, for example, for what you just said, I wasn't aware of any of that. You know, we're both traveling at the speed of light, kind of parallel,
Yeah.
peeking over once in a while, like, hey.
Right.
So
Right.
that's how it is.
It's so funny. And things are gonna keep getting so much better too. Like they already are. Like the energy is
Mhm.
getting so much more improved. Like I was oh hey, do you want to introduce what you're gonna do a little bit later, or do you want
Sure.
to wait for a bit? Like I don't know. I never asked you how long you wanted to.
No, we can plug it now.
All right.
Um, I have. Oh, what do I have? I've got the Spirit Oracle deck. I've got the Chakra Zodiac Oracle deck and the Rider Waite deck out in front of me for later.
Cool.
So what we're gonna do with a little bit of time is I'm gonna choose anyone out of the how do you say the chat.
Yeah.
There's those words again, the chat, and
Right.
I'm gonna do a reading for you. So yeah, that's the little special thing.
Awesome. I'll look forward to that. So that'll be a little bit later, so stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so every time that we've ever had conversations, there's always been a really you've just got a grasp of helps ways to help people regulate that they can do themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
there's such a stream of individuals right now that like truly when they connect with me, they feel like they're in crisis, you know, about what's happening and just feeling the ascension symptoms and the irregularity of the energies that are moving through them and just all kinds of things. And I was just, maybe we can talk about what are some of the ways to assist that person to kind of like come back to their 0 point.
So what you're asking is how to kind of get the energy out of crisis mode when it comes to the empathic
Yeah.
thing that's happening with people, because that's what it sounded like. Their energy is entangled with everything going on around them.
Right.
So it's causing that anxiety and that stress and it's not just simply because of oh, I watched the news or I saw this on social media or even this person tracked me down just to tell me this even though I don't have a TV, you know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's the empathy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because the higher the vibrations, the more expanded the light, the more empathic, because your field is getting bigger. It's touching things it wasn't touching before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just like when you first realized, oh, I'm an empath, maybe I need to learn how to do energetic hygiene. Maybe I need to learn Reiki so I can, self heal. Maybe I need to learn how to, do the salt baths and do the things, right, to maintain my energy. So every now and again, especially when we expand, we've got to go and either take it back to the basics or try something new in that area to maintain our energy.
Yeah.
And you'll know when you haven't been maintaining it, as well as when you know that you've expanded as well. Whenever you bring things in universally, you get everything. You don't just get what you want, you get everything. So your energy has to have an authority about it. And it's less likely to have that authority if it's chocked up full of collective emotions, your emotions.
Yeah.
You don't know what's which,
Right. Right.
you know, so that it can choose. Yes, I wanted this. Yes, this is what I ordered. No, that is not what I ordered. That mechanism is not happening naturally because of the clog, because of all of the debris.
Yeah.
It's like trying to see through muddy glasses. How are you going to make your choices, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be hard on myself. For those of you who do feel that anxiety and do feel that crisis energy, I would not first think, oh, well, I shouldn't have watched that show, or I shouldn't have let that person tell me about the volcano, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Instead, it's, I'm aware of what's happening. I'm going to go ahead and just use my tools,
Yeah.
because in this moment, I have just been made aware, and I actually have tools to utilize,
Yeah.
you know, and that it's really that simple. You're not going to first feel the results. You're going to do the work first,
Right.
without expectation of, after 2 seconds, I'm going to be fixed. You're going to start doing the
Right.
work, the momentum's going to build, and then you're going to find yourself okay. That's pretty much the advice I have.
Oh, so beautifully put too. Thank you. Yeah, it's been interesting to hear and so many people talking about this, what they're I everybody has their own experience. And so no one's wrong. In my
Nope.
opinion, no one is, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like that's possible because we'll see the same thing, but we'll talk to each other and find that our results were very different from one very
Mm-hmm.
one to the other. It's the seven braves at the fire story that you hear when you're a kid, like
Mm-hmm.
everyone sees a different flame.
Yeah.
um and therefore the story of the elder that's being told is seen differently while they're seeing it in their mind. Anyhow, the same thing can also apply to this, in that a lot of people are interpreting what's been happening energetically as some type of a global psychic attack on empaths and light workers and such. And it kind of feels like what we may have previously called that. And this is, now I'm
Mm-hmm.
sharing my opinion. It's not, everyone's truth, but what I feel of it is, instead what it is it's a release.
Mm-hmm.
We're feeling the release of it. And when the scum at the bottom of the pond is floating to the top, it floats through all the layers that we're in those layers. Like, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna feel it float up. It's good that it's going, and we're glad for it. And it is also glad to go, by the way. Like, it didn't want to be here anyway. It feels like something that got stuck, you
Yeah.
know? And it's this ancient crying, this unwept tears, but so deep that it feels like going to, like, the realm of the dark dwarves. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
went down into it. It's really weird. But anyway, everybody's talking about it. And like, I went on Facebook just for a minute, and every person that I passed had a big read up about it. Like, we're talking about all of the people are mentioning it. And so um you can believe what it is that's correct for you. And I'm just saying this because we sometimes get so caught up in what everyone's saying it's this thing that we mislabel it. And instead it's your little brother hiding behind the couch, jumping out to scare you, to remind you have a spiritual muscle to stop the energy from entering your sphere. And that's truly really it, in my opinion. So that's
Mhm.
my sense.
It's a good opinion. It's necessary. The universe operates in necessity. I love that term. I say it all the time. And for those who are utilizing that narrative of the attack, it's because that's what they understand. That's what they understand. And that's the same mechanism that's going to get them to use their tools so that they can feel normal again.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they require. So it's totally okay.
And all things are correct for
Mhm.
whoever. And that's what it's in the eye of the beholder. That's what that
Mhm.
means. That your reality is valid and true, though it might not be anything close to this other person right next to you. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. And then to regulate your energy the way that you had mentioned is I find that energetic hygiene is necessary daily, several times a day for me. I interact with people and I do sessions and stuff, so just like you, because you also do massage therapy, isn't that right?
Oh yeah. Oh, and it's it can be challenging sometimes. I
Mm.
think a week ago I had one person where literally like halfway through I got nauseous with that person.
Mhm.
So guess what? I already knew I can't go straight home. So I
Uh,
ended up eating dinner at a park near the water before I came home because I knew I had to clear my energy
yeah,
because I had apparently, you know, transmuted some things for this person.
right. Yeah. I would say that more than not, people who go to have massages, are people who have a lot of burden that, like, in fact, I would be surprised if there was anybody in that type of practice for very long that wouldn't be some type of energy worker because they wouldn't be able to cope.
That part, because it took me probably 10 years before I made the connection and even sought out anything to help me with that occurrence of, oh, sometimes I feel bad after I see certain people, and sometimes I'm fine. Like, I wasn't even paying attention, it was like a conveyor belt of bodies.
Right. Yeah.
But after a while, I was like, oh, maybe there's something going on here, and maybe I can actually do something about it.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. That's a really important moment in your evolution, and that was why
Mhm.
likely you got into this field to begin with.
Oh, yeah. It
It's
started with Reiki. Yep.
wow.
Mhm.
That's so cool. Everybody has something like that. Like, it's such a force that you don't when you're in it, it could feel like crisis. I bet it felt like it a
Oh,
bit.
yeah. It you're, everybody has their different degrees of hot mess as they're awakening.
Yeah.
And everything I had worked for in my 20s and early 30s collapsed. I had nothing to lose, so I had nothing to do but to fully step into my purpose. It didn't matter what anybody thought about me because I had already lost everything
Right.
as far as my perspective at that time. I had nothing else to do but to do the psychic work, all of the things that most people would have been worried about because they were still maybe holding on to relationships or things like that. I had nothing to hold on to.
Right.
It was definitely radical. It was radical.
It taught you to let go of
Oh
control.
yeah.
Yeah. You and I have a similar story. Like that happened to me a couple of times, but the most profound one was when we lost our land on May 2020, the beginning of lockdown. And I had a 5-year-old and we were alone. We moved states away from her dad to get to a safe place. And we didn't know anybody where we lived. And like that was, it was a very good experience in the end. But, like that was the last part of the holding on to control that I was taught to let go of, was because you can't. You got a 5-year-old in a town you don't even know, and like,
Yeah.
and so but during lockdown, so it was like a ghost town. Everything had like was closed and everything was weird. But it gave us when we that began an evolution of me that I would never exchange for anything. It brought me off grid, back on the grid. I was off grid, and within a year, I was starting my YouTube channel, and having been really removed from all connection with people, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, I'm thrust into like, you know, budget apartment where everybody is like knowing everybody's business, and like, all of a sudden, I went with people, and like, and it was really good though. Like the whole thing, I got to see letting go of control actually gives you control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like you have been here the whole time.
yeah,
You know that, right? Like when you start doing something, no matter how long you procrastinate about it, when you finally start, it's like you were there doing that thing the whole time.
yeah, yeah. And you can't remember not doing it, but everybody else around you are like, "Hey, something changed."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I had something pinned earlier. Oh, I pinned the wrong one. Darn it. There was a
Did you
question.
lose
Oh
it?
no, there it is. It's from your mom. There it is. I'm gonna grab it. She says, "Can a C-section birth change a person's sun sign and destiny? Like if the
No.
mother picks the day?"
Mm-mm. No, because the time of birth is still recorded the same way. You know,
Right.
the whole point is, hey, the baby came out at this time, no matter which way, you know.
Right. That's a good question. It's a good question, and it's an interesting thing to consider.
And
For
it may have, like in some other practices or disciplines, there may be something with that. But as far as, astrology, I wouldn't say so, but there may be some meaning to it
yeah,
somewhere else.
right. And then then we consider those who, I guess it's becoming a thing. I don't know. Maybe it's among circles of those who are highly affluent or something. I don't know, because it seems to be like a cultural thing that I'm hearing a lot about, though, that it's got nothing to do with the world I live in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that all these people, these women are, it's like becoming like regular to just assume that you're going to C-section. Like,
Oh yeah, they definitely. I feel like that was pushed for. A lot of the way that we do things in the medical field are literally like pushed for in agenda kind of
right,
ways, because we don't even give birth the way that we are naturally intended to. Even with a regular birth, it's not even in the position
you're on your back.
that
What?
you're naturally intended to. So it's kind of far gone the way that I see it.
Yeah,
But what I do love is that there's more birthing centers, there's more people choosing doulas, there's more people choosing home births. They're taking back that authority
yeah,
and choosing how they do want to
yeah.
give birth. So
I'm loving that movement too. I really am. Like, and then also a lot of people like, it's been an exponentially growing thing since I started to really pay attention in 2016. Uh, at least in this country, every year. it grows exponentially. It doubles again, again, and again on itself. Homeschool, people taking
Mm-hmm.
kids out of the school, especially since lockdown, and people started to see, parents started to actually find out what was happening. That's an
Yeah.
example of your classroom, like
Mm-hmm.
parents not even realizing what their kids were even studying or not
Mm-hmm.
studying, being brainwashed with, but I'm just it's all returning back to, and they call it new age. I think that's so comical. It's just not that.
Wait, really? Okay. I don't know. Why? Why is it new at all? Like what?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really funny. But
Wow. That
there's
is hilarious.
yeah. There's just sorry, I keep cutting you off. I
No,
think
you're fine. I keep laughing. That's my problem. Because whenever you say something like, especially like that, I have my thoughts in my head and then I'm laughing at those too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've long called those the cartoons in my head.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's the channeling. I actually didn't know that growing up. Like I I would just get these images and I learned to that they sew together. And often it's like movies or things I've seen or things I've experienced, and like it'll like be like a bunch of like flashcards that just kind of go in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, but they are animated like a cartoon, and they kind of, and I've learned what it means, and so I'll just repeat the images that I'm seeing. But at the time I didn't know exactly where it was coming from. I just knew that it was like it was helpful.
Yeah.
Whenever I told the person whatever it was that I was seeing, they would start crying and hugging me and saying thank you, and their life was better. So why not just do it? I didn't know exactly. I called the energy Bob for the longest time, just because that's what kids do. They kind of, but um and I guess I don't know why I'm even telling the story exactly, but I was thinking to myself, like when did you start to like realize that you kind of took some of what you were already, because I know you've been doing this your whole life, like when did you kind of start to realize that all of what you've done in your life has led you to this moment to like bring it forward and to help people with it?
When I started soul retrieval,
Do
when I
tell.
started practicing soul retrieval, is when I realized that every single moment in my life was purposeful and the road couldn't have been any different.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Good
Mm-hmm.
job. Good job.
Yep.
I had that happen too. It's called quantum healing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy. You can do it. Like, okay, so if somebody else was in that, because I think that every one of us have this requirement. That this helps quite a lot anyway. How would you teach somebody to do that if someone was like trying to?
Well, I guess the most for most people to understand, right? Without the quantum mechanics of the situation,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because that's a whole nother situation, because you can get as complicated as you can possibly think of getting when it
yeah,
comes to running timelines, collapsing timelines, and things like that. Everything that has ever occurred, you don't it's not erased. The timeline still runs. You
yeah,
just pull yourself off of it. The self that is here and present. You go and claim yourself from that timeline. And you let that timeline continue to run
yeah,
without you still being there present in it, right? But like a simple practice for a person new to soul retrieval um, would be the same as a meditation, right? What you would do is you would go in with intention. Okay. You're going in to meditation. You're going to bring yourself down to theta. You're going to really just have your breathing together, nice and good flow. Your body's relaxed because at some point you don't want to necessarily feel your body. Okay. You want to get there first. And then you want to purposefully go to pick any horrible thing that happened to you, and you want to go.
Yeah.
And you want to remember everything. You want to run through it like if you are rehearsing for a wedding. You want to run through every moment of that. Okay. Have the whole experience. And then, as your higher self, sometimes kind of like how when people astral travel, we call it our light body. You're going to go at the end of that scene, and you are going to, your big self's going to go to your little self, and you're going to let that little self know, hey, this is who you are now.
Yeah.
Because of how brave you were, blah, blah, blah. You're going to minister to yourself. You're going to you're going to pump yourself up. And then you're also going to claim yourself and bring that little self into you. I love you. You belong to me. We are one, right? After you talk about how great you are now. And you'll just repeat that however many times for however many situations, but in different sessions with yourself, you know. And sometimes it doesn't always work like the very first time. It just depends. Sometimes you may have to repeat that same particular thing depending on how horrible it was or how much it impacted you. But that's the most simplest what yeah, y'all know what I'm saying. I'm like, wait, no, don't leave. I'm literally in my head yelling at the word simple, saying, wait, no, don't go. I'm trying to save you.
Yeah, right. Other people were talking about that in the chat too earlier. It's like your words are hard right now.
My goodness. That was fun though. That was fun, y'all. I'm just one of those people. Once you start to be able to observe yourself, like, and I'm talking about on more than one level, it's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah. And I think all of it is like once we stop caring, like I don't know, I kind of did in high school, but I just didn't start high school till I was 14. So I didn't get a lot of that early exposure of like measuring up and being like people. Like I was just worried about the bullies because that's what all the after school specials were talking about. You know, they were talking about like the guys that have like the safety pin through their nose, you know, like that was 80s. You know?
I remember that.
Yeah, dude. They always are in the back of the bus. And so you gotta want to be like one of them when you get there. And so I kind of played that part when I first got to school. But anyway, like apart from that, like I just stopped caring. Like there's no reason that anything, like people talk about you. I can hear some of them. The locals, my neighbors, they don't really all talk to me, you know, and they're all real introverted community here, but they call me. I hear them in my head. They call me the Yankee.
Poor baby.
It's funny. My point is that it doesn't affect me. It makes me laugh. And what's more is when someone's upset, particularly at me, most of the time I still can't see why I have anything to do with your anger, you know, is that it doesn't affect me at all. And the only real challenge is to not laugh. Because when someone's mad and yelling at you, if you laugh, then it extends the yelling.
Yep. Very true.
And I don't want to. So I just try to hold it in and wait for them to be done. But like, it's this whole weird, bizarre phenomenon that I think a lot of us have, like the ones that are glowing out our light. Right now, there's a disruption happening on the planet. And like, this doesn't ever happen to me where people are coming up and yelling at me and stuff, but it's been happening. And it's like, they're not even talking about anything that I even know about. So it has
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with me, strangers. And like, they're drawn to us because our light, but they don't know how to then help that light balance them. So they end up being like aggressive.
Oh yeah.
It's
The light
crazy.
does not, the light doesn't discriminate.
Right.
It's going to shine no matter what. And you're either a morning person, right? Like a person that greets the light and welcomes it, or you're like that person that is shocked when you've been in pitch black dark and somebody flips the light switch and you can't see a thing and you start freaking out because that's what's happening with them.
Right. Right. That's a good, I love that comparison. That's right. You know, and I feel like a lot of people are getting that kind of experience right now. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. Like, it just,
Mm-hmm.
and like, know that you are awesome. Good job. Like, yeah, not good job that someone's yelling at you or whatever's happening, but it's like, I don't know, like, people go, oh, trigger, and that means stop. But,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to push anybody's buttons. I'm not that person that's like, oh, there's a button there. But if it was naturally pushed, you're welcome for the activation, you know, including when I get the trigger. If I get a trigger, it's time to stop and go, why is that there? Let's discover it. Let's let out the
Mm-hmm.
density, and so we can get beyond it.
For sure. I love this comment
Yeah.
from Susan. Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Always love this show. Not sure what I'd do if not for Mila.
Oh,
It's like a whole group hug moment there.
yeah. Yeah. I'm so
Just love it.
so honored to be in this position. It's such a beautiful thing. Like, and the people that gather around us, like all of you all and all of everybody too. I know that we're all the same kind of equalizer energy, is that they're you're all so beautiful, and it's a pleasant energy, you
Yes,
know? Yeah.
it's
It's so
beautiful.
um well, it's 3:03 and we can go on for another, 27 minutes. I'm just giving you a time frame. Do you want to read anybody?
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave here so that I won't be distracted. I had Facebook popped up on my phone. And I'm also going to hop over to your channel because that's where people mostly are. So I'm hopping over to Higher Vibrations channel. If you are watching me on my channel, I'm hopping over there so that I can see her chat. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. Just bear with me.
Right on.
The circle. There we go.
Rose Matter says the UV index feels like it's starting to get stronger. We
Oh,
do
yeah, it is. Somebody measured it.
Yeah, well, she's talking about it being 10. It says it's 10, but I just got said that it was going up right just a second ago too. For anybody who's feeling kind of irregular energy right now, it's good just to hear it. That's
Mm-hmm.
probably what's going on for you, and I know we're expecting a pretty big energy slam between this right now, between right now and 24 hours from now. So from the
Oh,
sun.
wow. Well, thank you for that because, again, it's been a whirlwind. It's been hard for me to keep up with everything.
Yeah, there's a lot, definitely.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was looking over here at the chat, but then I was also thinking something else as well. Oh, I wanted to, for those of you who like to look for natural, like, forms of sunscreen and things and ways to protect yourself because people are out there burning. It's real, okay?
Right.
So if you don't necessarily like to use like chemical sunscreen, there are like organic options. And then there, like, my go-to is shea butter, okay? But it needs to be real shea butter. You
Yeah.
need to get Shea butter is very, very protective of the skin. And I'm not telling you this like as medical advice or anything like that, okay? Um, I use shea butter, like straight shea butter, especially if I'm going to go to the beach. And a sun hat won't hurt, right? Get a sun hat or a baseball cap. Get like 5 pairs of shades if you're the type that loses them all the time,
Yeah.
because this is not going to be a summer you want to play with. Okay, you don't want to dare this summer. Okay, it's very important that you do all of the things, and those swim shirts, the ones that are kind of breathable but they're long sleeve,
Yeah.
stuff like that, because this is different. It's
Yeah.
different out there.
They
Okay.
even have the sleeves, the sleeves by themselves. Maddie has those, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, like that teenage girl style almost, where it's like a glove that
Mm-hmm.
goes on and then it can go all the way up into your shirt. So it really does help, and yeah, you can barely even tell it's on, I guess.
Awesome. So are we ready?
Yeah.
So um, I want someone to pick a number in the chat. Now you got to be ready in the chat. I want someone to pick a number between 1 and 11, right? And whoever that I see that chose my number first, I'm going to choose you to read for you, okay?
I love it.
So I'm going to wait between a number between 1 and 11. So the first person where I see the number that I'm thinking of, I will read for you. So if you don't want a reading, please don't comment. That way we're not confused.
Oh wow, look at all these 11s.
It's always fun to see the 11s.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on my number. Ha, Rose, you must love me. It's Rose.
Rose was first. Right after her.
Rose and Jules. That's why I did it that way. So we're gonna go with Rose and Jules to start with, okay? And then we'll do another exercise to find the next person. So I've got Rose and Jules down. Y'all don't let me forget.
I will.
All right. But Rose in the now, you are my first love. Rose for her highest good and the highest good of everyone involved. Wow. Rose, you got money coming, ma'am. My right palm definitely had a nice little sensation there. You got money coming to you. Either someone's giving it to you, or it's not money you're expecting at all. You definitely got money coming to you, because I felt that immediately in my hand. What else we got going on here for Rose for her highest good and the highest good of everyone involved? There's something about the color blue. There's an item, Rose. It may be like clothes, like a dress. It's a light blue, not a dark blue. But that's also coming to my awareness. What does this say? Oh, me and my no glasses. This card says infinity. Okay.
Beautiful.
And the message on the back says, dearest one, rest within the light of your soul. Feel my spirit alive within you, the spirit of the goddess of nature, the earth and the stars. Accept the love and light we shower upon you. Okay. And you've got the 8 of Pentacles here. So what you put in, you get out. But again, like I said, you're having a little extra on the side coming from somewhere else. And you've got the 4 cups here with that offer. So not only are you going to receive some kind of monetary gift, but there's also an offer coming to you. If you're not looking for a job and you're fine wherever you work, there's probably a promotion offer coming. But if you are looking for a job, there is definitely an offer coming to you, an opportunity. You may get an email or phone call or text message. So definitely like pay more attention. If you are one of those people like me that stays on do not disturb, you just might want to pay more attention to your phone or your email and stuff, okay? So you don't delay anything. And my attention is being brought back to this card again because that rainbow is there. So whatever you've been dealing with, whatever the rain was, the rainbow, you're at the rainbow part now, right? Everything's kind of drying up and getting fun again to where you can go outside and play. You're not stuck in the muck. So yeah, those are the messages I have for Rose in the mail for her highest good.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got Jules.
Oh yeah, it gets lit, y'all. Just so you know, it gets lit. I turn into all kind of things when I'm doing reading. It's like I'm the only one here.
Oh,
Jules for her highest good and the highest good of everybody involved.
Celebrate.
All right. Ooh. You got secret knowledge, Jules. What is that about? Secret knowledge? That's definitely up my alley. Secret knowledge, huh? What are you getting into? What's this going on? It's like something that can't be revealed just yet. It has to be perfectly packaged before it's released. Secret knowledge. And Jules, you got a connection with Inner Earth? Agartha? What's going on? Jules, look. Is it a she? Or well,
I believe so, yes.
Because I was about to ask, like, oh Lord, let me ask. Not sure. But Inner Earth, Agartha, secret knowledge, perfectly packaged before sharing. Okay. Let me finish getting these cards. I am primarily a psychic channel. I don't actually read tarot, y'all. Like, I didn't formally learn how to read tarot. Very interesting. You've got a past life gift that is trying to, come out and be expressed, Jules. You got the Eight of Pentacles, okay? It is something that you used to do in a past life that is necessary to be expressed in the now. You've got the Six of Cups here. And the reason why it's necessary is to move you forward in whatever it is that you are needing to accomplish in the now. Like this skill, particularly, it's a skill. It feels like a trade. So it may be something that you know how to do that's very easy, that you may be able to integrate into whatever's happening in the now. You've got the beautiful Earth Star Chakra telling you to stay in the moment. And whenever this card comes up, there's a reason you need to stay in the moment. Your month of June is going to be quite active. And you're going to definitely have to, what they say, think fast. Not necessarily like think fast, but at the same time, yes, think fast. Like when somebody throws how do you say that? Throws a baseball and you're not paying attention because you weren't expecting it, and then you got to catch it real quick. That's what's happening here. So this is what the sacred, not secret, but I still think it's hidden. I still think it is secret for a reason until it's time to be released. But anyway, sacred knowledge, right? And I'm going to read the back of it. Ancient and sacred knowledge is waiting within the heart of the earth, yearning to be discovered. Crystals hold the key. Connect energetically with the earth and her crystal realm. Healing, love, and abundance result. Yes. Yes. Like I said, there's something that has to do with Agartha particularly. Now I don't know if it's the same like Lumeria where they got the seeds or not. The crystals have information. I mean, all crystals have information, but I don't know if it's the same as you having to connect with crystals like the Lumerian seed crystal type thing. All I know is, and I don't know much about Agartha either. I'm aware of it, but I don't know much about it, right? But there's definitely, you're gonna have to utilize tools from your past, trades, just your knowledge, in June, because there's gonna be all kinds of events and things and people coming to you to where there's not gonna be a lot of time for you to like mess around. Things have to happen like fast. Just put it like that. So whatever the connection is with Agartha and crystals, definitely look into that because that could be helpful in maintaining your energy when you're bombarded in June. Okay, sleep is very important. So prioritize it, sacrifice certain things so that you can sleep. And that was for Jules in the now. For her highest good, his highest good. I don't know. I didn't get any more comments after that, so I don't know.
You also got thanks, much love from Rose Matter.
You're welcome, love.
Kenny says that she was gonna pick 3 first, but she didn't do it.
Who? Where?
Kenny, she said, "Man, 3 was my first guess," but she didn't write it.
It's with a K?
Kenny with a K?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's what you said. Okay. Man, 3 was my first guess. I can read for her. No problem.
Sweet.
Are you ready, Kenny? Give me a yes.
There's a delay. It's always so annoying to wait for
Yeah.
delay.
and y'all can always watch the replay too if you miss part of your reading.
She's a regular. I'm sure she'll see this even if she's not on.
That part. Totally fine. The energy just shifted. Something's coming.
Yeah.
I bet if we were to look at the charts right now, because I can feel it. I can feel something coming.
It's probably that solar. Okay, Kenny is in the audience. She says yes.
Thank you. Woo!
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna turn off my mic so I stop interrupting.
Yeah. Go look. That'll be fun. Go look. Tell me what is the sun doing? Because I'm like, hold on. I feel like the ceiling's kind of trying to close in on me. It's weird. All right, Kenny. For her highest good and the highest good of everyone involved. Clear, concise messages. Kenny. Let's see. Okay, first things first. I see a banana. That's interesting. I see a banana for Kenny. Just a random banana, single banana. Alrighty. Ooh, you got free will. This is such a beautiful card. The answer to your question is no. Yet remember, you have free will. You are free to make your own decisions. Just remember that you need to take responsibility for any choice you make. Meditate and see what your heart says. Okay. That was the message on the back of this card. And I always tell people, hey, just because I'm telling you don't do something or something is not in your favor doesn't mean that you don't have the free will to still do it anyway. If you need an extra lesson, if you need to take that detour, that's what you need. You've got transmutation, hand chakra here. Okay. So that coupled with this free will card is literally telling me that you've got people in your life that really wish that you would just be normal. It literally, that's kind of how it comes off. They just really wish that you would just for once. They act like you're exhausting. The only reason why you may be exhausting to them is because they're trying to control you. What is the deal? What? Oh, yes. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, look. Kenny, you got the Hermit, right? And with this particular card in the now, for your message in the now, right? It's talking with that Hermit card, it's talking about being in a space in your own energy, doing the things that you love to do while you're also discovering new things that you might like. That's like taking a solo trip to another town where you don't know anyone, and you bring all of your favorite things from home, but then you also venture out and you try new things in that town with new people type situation, because that's like your happy space, right? And then you've got the Ace of Wands. That is the dare to be bold card. Okay? Like, don't even let anybody make you feel any kind of way about anything. You just keep doing you and do the most of you, because guess what? There are people out there that will celebrate you and celebrate with you, that get it, and they love it. They can't get enough of it. They want you to be big and expanded and bright and all of what you are. Everybody else, they can just go ahead and take a number to the complaint department that doesn't have anybody sitting at the desk. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because you really need right now to gain new interests and likes. You're coming up on another level, Kenny. Literally, another level of getting to know yourself. There are things you hadn't tried that you're going to absolutely love. It's a very delicious, luxurious energy. Okay? It's like spiritual in a way. It's very Venusian, but spiritual. It's like having a spiritual experience through very tactical and five senses things, you know? So, yeah, that's what I got for you, Kenny.
Oh, that was me. Excuse me. I
What? What
I
happened?
lost connection. And so I thought you lost connection. I started talking. I talked over you. Excuse me.
Oh, I didn't hear a word you said.
Okay, good.
I don't. Maybe they did. Y'all let us know what just happened.
I lost connection just for a second, but I can show you real quick. I'm going to share a screen for you, Josie,
Oh
because
yeah, no problem.
check this out. Wait, come on. It's this one. Okay. All right. I know there's commercials on top. Can you see that?
Not yet.
Okay. It should pop up. Oh, there we go. I see. Okay, there it is. All right, so this blue one over here in the black background is this. These are all examples of the sun. You just said what was that? I'm going to show you. See that? Phew, that just happened. So we're going to cycle it again one more time. As it gets closer to the end, see all this stuff coming off the sun? This is the sun. And then boom. So that just happened. So that's what you just felt. And you're like, I thought, I went to find out what it was, and that's what it was. So
that was like, and my whole soul was like, somebody go check the charts. Something's happening. This basically a Chicken Little moment. Like the sky is falling.
Right. No, it's pretty. And we already are having incoming energy too. So
yeah. Wow. Great.
Yeah. I know.
I'm sitting here like, great, another one.
You can another something. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. Okay, one more person, and then we should probably wrap this up because we have a group meeting in an hour from now. So,
and she's gonna need a moment. She got to brief.
Yep.
All righty. So. Kara Morris, would you like a reading, love?
Oh, Kara.
Kara? No. There we are.
I'm sure her answer is yes.
Hold on, let me scoot down. I've got to get the screen right so I can see. There we go. That took a moment.
Okay. And then all technology is all in disruption too, on top of us not being able to regulate.
I'm telling you. All right. For Kara, for her highest good and the highest good of everyone involved. Really? Is it? I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like a bag of potatoes, but I'm not sure if it's a bag of potatoes. It's a bag, but it's rolled down a little bit, and it's full of something. I'm not sure what that is, though. Come on, Kara. For her highest good and the highest good of everyone involved. Ah, found ya. Ooh. Y'all about to see why I said that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it says the feminine aspect is awakening. Feel the goddess energy inside you. She seeks acknowledgement and validation. New energies, insights, and opportunities are emerging. Wake up, embrace, celebrate. And that card is quite lovely. I hadn't seen that one yet. So, nice.
That's awesome.
And we've got show compassion. What's going on, Kara? We got to show compassion. We got to acknowledge our feminine. We need a boost, don't we? We need a boost. Hold on a second. Let's see. What's going on with the feminine here? We got to see. You got the Temperance card. So there's definitely some kind of healing going on. You've got the beautiful King of Wands. Could be a fire sign person, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And then you've got the Judgment card. The beautiful Judgment card. Kara, not sure if you're in a relationship or not, but if you are, what do you say, contemplating on giving someone who may be a fire sign another chance, definitely take all the time that you need. I'm not here to, you're a grown person. I'm not here to tell you what to do and what not to do. because this is about resurrecting something. This is about someone trying to manifest you or call you in. Okay. And the divine feminine is highlighted here, and the show compassion card, the higher heart chakra, is highlighted here because in these situations where you are thinking of going to something that didn't necessarily work out the first time, sometimes that opportunity is there for you to have an experience that causes you to love on yourself better or more in some kind of way. So it's not necessarily about being fulfilled in that situation. And you are definitely dealing with a soulmate soul tie, and it is quite strong. Okay. I don't know your exact situation, but all I can tell you is love you more than you love the other person. And you can physically do whatever you want. Make sure you love you more than you love the other person in this situation, because the magnetism and the chemistry is very strong. And it's your responsibility to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's pretty much what I want to get across. Just don't find yourself making it somebody else's responsibility for your fulfillment. That's all. Okay. But have fun. We got a little time before anything goes retrograde. So have fun. Okay. before the ones that really affect stuff go retrograde, I should say. So yeah, you have this nice little grace period to mess around and find out. And either way it goes, you got to show compassion to yourself no matter what. This is about loving yourself. That's what it's mostly about, is you expanding on that love for yourself. Okay. So yeah, that's the message I have for Kara in the now.
Thank you. That was so fun. I put it down here it's like on the screen. This is how to contact Josie.
Yep,
Link
that's my
tree
link tree.
and you hey, 333, you offer sessions and remote sessions, right?
Yes, through Zoom. Yep, and I turned back on my booking for my online booking too. I turned that back on. Everything's in my link tree. You can get to it from there.
Right on. And you also have a Patreon that you
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting to talk about this again. We're kind of wrapping it up, but just to briefly, there's a lot of content that you get for free just being a member.
Yeah, my free members get all of the astrology content, and I do pop in there and I do chat readings, but I also have other videos where I will do readings by zodiac sign, like for the month.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then random general posts as well. You can get all of that as a free member.
Yeah, I love the stuff that comes through, actually, because like what happens is I have it where it'll alert me on my email, and so I really actually go to the Patreon, but it's like, oh, thank you, because I get validation. It's like she's having the same kind of day or message that I'm getting, and it really helps to not have to go to that what if part of your mind, or whatever that is. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and it's really awesome. You do qigong and you do all kinds of cool
the qigong classes are also free as well. Forgot about there's quite a lot in the world of 50 Essentials, because it's a high vibrational lifestyle company. So y'all forgive me if I don't remember everything.
It's all good. It's all good. I just want to be sure I brought that up because there's a handful of people I've been talking to lately who have never done that and would
Mm-hmm.
like to start. And you know, this would be your examples are a really great place to start, in my opinion. So
Yep. We have
anyone,
we have lives on Zoom. What I do is I schedule the Qigong class as opposed to where you know when it's going to happen. You go straight to that post, you click on the Zoom link in there on the day and time that we're going to do it. And if it's your first time, you go through the class with me. But then any other time you want to practice yourself, you go to the Qigong collection in my Patreon, and there's a video for each movement there for you to practice on your own. And there's also the theory that explains the 5-element practice and what the elements are, what they do, and all that stuff is in the Qigong section of the Patreon.
awesome,
Mm-hmm.
sweet. And that you can find if anyone is interested, which I highly encourage you to do. Like, there's so much free content that and it's not even that much to be part of the subscription side too, though. So just saying, there's the link there for anyone who's interested. And man, Josie, the time just flies when we talk. I feel like
I know.
but yeah, I got to get going, and just gonna do my little commercial real quick. Remind y'all in the audience, anybody who's interested, we are doing our regular Wednesday group Zoom meeting that starts in just a little under 2 hours from now, or excuse me, 1 hour from now. Ooh, I don't want to mess that up. Please look if you have gone the and gotten the link before. I posted it earlier. I put the wrong link on there. I put a different group, and so I fixed it. So please go back if you haven't done that for the Zoom meeting for that's going to start in an hour. Anyway, thank you so much, Josie, for being here. You're amazing, and thank you so much for
You're
offering
amazing.
the gift of meeting my friends. That's so cool. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Love to you all, and thank you so much for having me, dear. It's always a pleasure. I love being here in this container with you. And yeah, I'm gonna take a moment, but I'm definitely gonna be there. I'm gonna go over to because I can find it in a Telegram, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my eyes from crossing, and then I'm gonna meet you over.
Sweet. Okay. Right on. All right. Well, thank you.